Could every single American be getting $2,000 stimulus checks?
Yeah, guys, I got some breaking news here. Stimulus check update 2025.
What purpose would it serve Donald Trump to pay every American a $2,000 tariff dividend check? Because we know he's not the type of person to do favors.
What's up, Financial Hawks? It's your man, Eric. And in today's video, we're going to be going over the dividend / stimulus check $2,000 that everybody kind of been talking about recently.
Could every single American be getting $2,000 stimulus checks sent right to them? President Donald Trump says yes, but don't get too excited yet. In a message on social media on Sunday morning, the president said a dividend of at least $2,000 a person will be paid to everyone, not including high-income people. This money would allegedly be coming from tariff revenue. So here's why you shouldn't get too excited yet. This is not the first time the president has said thousands of dollars are coming. In an interview back in October, the president said everyone would be getting $1,000 to $2,000. Before that, in July, he said his administration was considering rebate checks. And then going back to February, he said Doge savings could hit people's pockets. So could money be coming? It's really not clear yet, but nothing can be done without Congress approval.
Okay, I'm liking that she actually went back in the past, this year and went over, I guess, other times Trump has said that we would be getting, I guess, some type of funds. Now, this particular one, I feel like this one has a higher chance than the other ones, just for the fact of how all the craziness stuff kind of just been going on right now. And then the government shutdown ending recently. I could see this one actually having a higher chance compared to those other ones. And, again, it's about the layoffs going on. It's winter time right now. Throwing that extra 2,000, can affect a lot of people right now, even though they really should be giving a whole lot more for all the craziness that's been going on. But then, that's a whole nother story right there. But I can see this one having a higher chance compared to all the other ones early this year. And besides that, too, during his first time, like in between him and Biden, we were getting those $2,000 stimulus checks around that time as well. So again, it's not like it's impossible, obviously, but I think there's a higher chance again on this one compared to the other one. But let me know in the comment, do you think this one has a higher chance than the other ones earlier this year? Or do you think this one also is going to also not, just fail and we're not going to get anything, during this crazy time right now? Because again, for optics, I could see this actually passing because again, they would look good for the optics sake. But let's continue.
Stimulus payments are being sent out right now to certain states. I will tell you who's getting them and how much. So right now in New York, they are giving out a check that they are calling inflation refund checks. Now, this is going out to people that make under $150,000 a year, and it is $300 per single filer and up to $500 per joint filer, and that is going on through the end of May. Also, California residents can get up to $725 depending on the income for the family and the family size. Colorado residents are getting paid big time. So there is a $1.5 billion surplus, and single filers can receive up to $800, couples up to $1,600. Now, you can find all of this information each state by state if you go to the state's website, and they can tell you how to apply, how to get it, and where to fill out the forms. So I will keep you guys updated for all the information I find out about stimulus, etc.
Okay, so yeah, this one is definitely lower than the 2,000 that we've been hearing. If this is true, that's crazy that we're only going to be getting $300 per person. I guess if you have kids, that's great. I don't know if the kids can also get money as well. But all the people who have a whole bunch of kids right now who are getting $4,000 checks not $4,000 check, $4,000 EBT. Now you can also get a lot from this too. So I'm going to try again. I'm going to have to check to see what Texas is saying on this. Again, this is my first time hearing these numbers right here, the $300, and certain other states you can get up to $800 per person, jointly $1,600. Again, I would have to see exactly how real this one is compared to the other one, the $2,000 that everybody been talking about. But 300 really, go ahead and just start dropping this inflation. Go ahead and start dropping these prices at, these stores for food, for gas, for XYZ. Start dropping the interest rates on homes. So, new people who want to buy a home can actually afford the payments. It's like other things that we can do as well, instead of just getting just $300. Give me $300 every single month. I guess I could do something with that for sure, but only $300 one time. That's crazy. I think that's crazy. I don't think that's anywhere close to what a lot of people need at this moment in time. But I mean, that's free money, I guess. If this is true, and I guess it depends on what state you're in. But yeah, I think if anything, let's go in and start dropping these interest rates on homes, these interest rates on other type of loans and different stuff like that. And, get stuff moving that way. I think that would help out a whole lot more people, getting people into homes versus getting them into a 50-year mortgage. Let's find other avenues to get people into homes and get people having kids and having this economy, going back up. That would be great.
Everybody's waiting breathlessly for announcements of those tariff stimulus checks that Donnie just announced yesterday in light of that terrible Tuesday night that they had. So what does he feel like doing? Giving everybody a socialist handout, even though MAGA rails against socialism and free school lunches and anything that helps the poor, but are quick to accept socialism. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, when it's a little free handout here. They're standing there with their handout. We're the first ones to post GoFundMe's, but they're not. They don't believe in free money. They don't believe in that stuff. But so anyways, I know that everybody, since yesterday it was announced, we're all sitting here talking about it. It's all a buzz right now. We're all a buzz with the anticipation for these wonderfully fake checks that'll never come. So everybody mark your calendars. This is the latest that I've heard, and it's been going around. Neverary 32nd. Mark your calendars, okay?
Okay, so yes, he definitely on the side of it not happening again. I'm not for sure if it's going to happen or not. I think this one again has a higher chance than all the other, supposed checks that we were supposed to be getting, throughout the year. At least the other ones throughout the year too, I really wasn't hearing any type of like real buzz about those or any real job behind it. This one I'm actually hearing more information on. So again, I guess we'll see. I would not be surprised if we didn't receive anything, but I wouldn't be surprised if we did also during this crazy time. Now, I thought it was funny when she talked about how certain people who didn't believe in like getting checks or free money and all this, a lot of them were like on the side of now, like, hey, I'm ready for that check. So again, I guess we'll see. Let me know in the comments. Are you happy about this potential 2,000 or are you sad? Are you mad? It looks like it's only capped at people who are making 150 and less. So, the majority of people, I guess the top 1% or less than 1%, they won't be receiving this, 2,000. But I think that was the same way with like the stimulus checks too. So it may, I guess, apply that way. Maybe they may see if you paid your taxes or not before you can actually receive it.
Our stimulus checks, ETFs on deck, and the government reopening. Looks like we're getting ready for a baby bull run. The government has confirmed that citizens are getting a $2,000 stimulus for relief payment. This is aimed at consumer spending and stabilizing the economy. Reality of this is it's just going to add a lot more liquidity into these crypto and stock markets. In 2021, we saw a large portion of this money go straight into crypto and stock. The reason for this is because retail investors are always looking for the quick returns in the market. And for the retail investors who don't necessarily need the $2,000 for relief payment, they like to throw it into stocks and crypto as if it's a free add-on. Obviously not financial advice, but I definitely think we could expect a short-term rally when these stimulus checks come in. And if you add on the ETFs and the government reopening back up, I definitely think we should see a bullish next 6 weeks. I'm not too sure when this $2,000 stimulus check is going to hit. I do know it's tailored for middle income to lower income families. If you are making a substantial amount of money in your high income bracket, you're not going to be receiving the $2,000 stimulus check. That's all I got. See you guys.
Okay, cool. So this is another aspect of it. The stocks, Bitcoin, crypto, et cetera, going on during this time period. I believe during the time period where everybody was getting those stimulus checks or whatnot, I want to say crypto and everything was kind of going like high, like really good. I want to say the stocks also were doing like very well during that brief period of time. So yeah, this actually may be a good time for you to invest, possibly. I know for myself, I got some other stuff I wanted to invest in with that, and that would be more towards like my career goals and whatnot. However, maybe I might have a little bit on the side that I can go in and invest into some other stuff right there. Now with crypto, I'm thinking like if we do see like a push over like Bitcoin, with these $2,000 checks or whatnot, I think it'll be good for like the first maybe month or two. And then once everybody's talking about it more, once it become more mainstream again, I can see it nosediving. Everybody getting scared, and then it's slowly, rising back up again to whatever crazy number it may end up being. So I think we might see like an uptick, then a downtick, and then a slow uptick again while nobody's paying attention. So if you're going to be going into it in the long term, this may be a great time for you to go ahead and start investing now, and don't sell when it goes low and then just wait it out. But if you're trying to go for a quick check, it's also maybe a good time to go in right now. And then as soon as you start hearing everybody talking about it, then you go ahead and sell and then wait. But yeah, that kind of just my prediction on like the crypto Bitcoin if we end up getting this 2,000. But I guess we'll see.
Says $2,000 tariff checks will come to all Americans. On Sunday, November 9th, Donald Trump posted on Truth Social in response to skepticism about his tariffs, saying, "People who are against tariffs are fools. We are now the richest, most respected country in the world, with almost no inflation and a record stock market price." In the post, he claimed that America was paying off its $37 trillion debt, and at the end, he noted, "A dividend of at least $2,000 per person, not including high-income individuals, will be paid to everyone." During his first term, Donald Trump issued 2 rounds of stimulus checks, and during his re-election campaign, speculation online suggested he might do it again, though experts argued that the likelihood of this happening was very low. In the past, in light of the COVID crisis, around 228 million Americans were eligible for stimulus checks. If these proposed dividends followed the same formula for eligibility, it would cost approximately $456 billion to provide $2,000 to each eligible American. According to Scott Bessent, U.S. Treasury Secretary, in July, $100 billion in tariffs had been collected, which could rise to $300 billion by the end of the year. If every American received the dividends, it would cost the U.S. about 1.5 times the revenue generated by tariffs. Trump's initial post about the dividends was immediately followed by 2 more, which read, "Without tariffs, we have none of the following. Just posted, Truth, President Donald Trump." And then, less crime, more Trump.
Okay, so this brought up another aspect I was thinking about as well. I want to say, like at first when everybody got the stimulus checks, like the economy, it looked like it was doing good for a minute. And then we start seeing the high inflation and, just the craziness with just how high everything is for food here and XYZ. So yeah, that's a possibility that even though the $2,000 checks, stimulus checks or dividend checks could help out a lot of people, we may see like a good maybe month or 2. It probably could help out the rest of these holidays, but maybe around January, February, when that kind of dies down, everybody spent that money, then we're kind of just back at square one where we're seeing again high inflation, high this, high that. So this may be just like a temporary fix, a temporary band-aid for something more. And again, same with the 50-year mortgage. I talked about this on that video as well. That's also a temporary bandage. There should be other avenues, other ways to help get people into homes. Instead of just having them pay a 50-year mortgage to save only $200, maybe again, lowering the interest rates, finding ways to have 0 down payment for everybody or helping out people with those down payments. There's like other avenues that I feel like they can also help out with that. But let me know in the comments, what other avenues do you think can help out not only with the economy, but also with these $2,000 checks? If we end up getting those, do you really think it'll be helping out like long term, or do you think it's going to be like more of a short term thing? And then January, February, we may end up being like in the same position that we're currently in now.
So the president posted again today about the possibility of $2,000 dividends from tariff revenue that would be going to low and middle income families. Now, we don't have the details on who exactly is getting this, how it would be calculated, how it would be distributed, but I wanted to give you 5 thoughts on the potential proposal. First, affordability has been a major concern for a lot of Americans. And you see this in the consumer sentiment readings, right? People are concerned about tariffs and the impact on prices. A $2,000 payment could alleviate some of that anxiety as well as that pressure in the wallet. Number 2, though, this is on the flip side, there's concern it could cause more inflation. You go back to summer of 2022, where we saw the recent inflation highs under the Biden administration. A lot of economists attribute that to the pandemic stimulus checks. And so in this case, it would kind of be like another stimulus check, more money in circulation, more demand, that could potentially lead to higher prices. 3, we actually don't know if this dividend would take the form of a new check, because Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent suggested it could just take the form of tax reductions, like no tax on tips or no tax on Social Security benefits. 4, some of this tariff revenue that could go toward these checks would be at risk if the Supreme Court strikes down the legality of some of the tariffs. Remember, the government would have to pay potentially some of that back to the businesses. And finally, the president said the leftover tariff revenue after these $2,000 payments would go to paying down the national debt. A lot of investors I've talked to would rather see all of that tariff revenue go to pay down the national debt.
Okay, interesting. I didn't even think about if we didn't receive the dividend check or whatever in terms of like actual checks, but in other avenues, she said one of them like not paying taxes like on certain things. I mean, I guess that could be okay. And I feel like again, I feel like a check would be better than that. I'm trying to think of like something else that I could see the 2000 going towards for everybody that the government could just push, but I can't really think of anything at the moment. Let me know in the comments if you guys have anything in particular you think could work for this outside of again just receiving $2,000 check. Kind of at this point, I don't really trust a lot of the things for things that the government has been doing forever. Towards people, like will it really be in our best interests regardless, or will it seem that way for like a few months and then after that, we're back at square one. She mentioned that too. She talked about that as well with, during the first time we were getting the stimulus checks during the 2020 COVID and all that, and how again, initially everything looked like it was going good and then it just tanked. So again, having just more checks or just giving out the money period, again, could just be just a band-aid that will come off skin, in the next few months. So yeah, we're really in a weird place right now. We are really in a weird place, but I really want to see, hear some of your guys' thoughts on this in the comments. Do you really think like you have like some other good alternatives that let's say they had to eat $2,000. Let's say in some form they had to give us $2,000. Would you rather receive it in a check? Would you rather receive it in, again, I haven't paid taxes on XYZ? I want to hear your thoughts. I'm definitely intrigued. But if you do get this, hopefully you don't waste it. Hopefully you invest it or, help it pay off some type of debt. Hopefully you should not get the 2000 just like, okay, now we should do a YOLO and then you're back broke the next week. I don't want you guys to do that. I really don't want you guys to do that. All right, this one had me rolling. I see where he's coming from on this, but I would not be surprised again if we end up receiving this, just for the fact that the last time we were getting all these stimulus checks and whatnot, we couldn't afford it then. He said one of the reasons he said why we would be bad and which pretty much it would be an uptick in Trump's approval rate. I can see that happening. Especially during this crazy time, that would be the reason for him to do that. He also talked about again, us not being able to afford it, the other checks we were able to afford. So it's like he's giving good knowledge, good, I would say facts for the most part, and like an ideal world. But how this last 5 years have gone, we have been receiving these crazy checks. We have been seeing politicians and people doing stuff just for approval rates. We have been seeing, again, they just printing out money. Everything looks good for a little bit of time, and then after that it tanks, and then we're back at square one. We have constantly been seeing that these last 5 years. So after COVID, I wouldn't put anything past what we may end up seeing, with that dividend check or any type of UBI or anything in the future, going further. Because again, not only do we have all this craziness going on right now, but we still have massive layoffs going on right now. We also still have the AI taking over jobs more and more. We got places like Walmart that's having a hiring freeze. They're not even hiring people, I think, for the most part, because again, they want to focus on improving their AI. I think for the next 5 years, we got humanoid robots coming up soon with the AI, already integrated. I think next year there's going to be a robot maid. I guess they're still working on it 100%. But for the fact that you can already low key, I get pre-order that already for next year to do your dishes and do your, XYZ. We're in very unprecedented times. So yeah, these next few years is going to be crazy. Thankfully, I got this channel so I can go ahead and react to these videos with you guys. But I think these next few years are going to be wild. But anyway, guys, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.